I don't know anything about boxing, but I listen to a lot of radio in the car because it's just the only thing that lets my brain wander off and stop thinking about work. And that boxer, Conor Ben, has been like popped for usage of a certain substance.
Oh, what drug?
And I was just looking it up because it's a weird one. Cause
I bet it's a SARM. Is it a SARM?
No, it's a fertility drug for women.
Oh, yes. A few people have been popped for that kind of stuff. Shit, there's a reason behind it.
I heard someone mention a drug the other day, and the name was really weird. I think it's Tonkat Ali.
Sounds like a person.
Sounds like a person, but apparently it's a test booster.
Well, there's
clomiphene.
Yeah. Oh shit! I used to know.
And what's interesting about that is like everyone's like, well, he's maybe just taking it to help. And I was like, look, anything that fucks with the women's hormones is going to fuck with men's hormones too.
There's a reason I think. I want to say this is off the top of my head because I remember reading about it a few years ago. Someone else got popped for it, and I was like, "Why is he taking a fertility drug?" And I want to say, it's like, is it like an anti-estrogen or something, like a aromatase? Like
basically something like that.
Yeah, so it's to reduce his estrogen levels. So I think the argument is he may not be taking a testosterone supplement, but if it can reduce his estrogen but keep his testosterone the same, it betters the ratio.
Yeah.
Could enhance performance. Or if he is taking a testosterone enhancement, it may be to prevent side effects like gynecomastia.
I thought it was one of two things. Either he's been on gear and he's doing it to increase his natural test again.
Doing something to
kind of like rebound. Maybe
it's almost like a PCT.
On the PCT potentially. And maybe he takes that because then it's easier for them to explain it away. Like, oh, he's taking it because they want to have kids or something. Whereas if you take just like gear, it's quite difficult to explain that away unless you're on TRT or something. Or the other thing is that he generally needs it.
Talking of gear, did anyone get any feedback from our last episode, which was the drug special?
I'm not going to be honest with you, it was so long ago, sorry, I can't actually remember.
There you go. Well, there you go. It has been a while.
But we are back in business now. We've just been a bit MIA because work has been, for all of us, I think, pretty mad.
And I was away again.
Oh, how was the holiday?
And I had stuff to do. Sorry.
Yeah, you got big stuff to do.
Big, busy boy.
Yeah, no, we've all been fairly busy. I was away, went to Cyprus for 5 days, which was good, fairly chill, didn't do a lot. I am going away again soon.
Where again?
November. I'm going to amazing timing. Like I booked it. I mean, I personally think that I am the reason for a lot of goings on in the world right now. Mainly because the minute I booked this trip, everything seemed to just start changing. So I booked a trip to Miami and the Florida Keys, and straight after that, obviously, obviously the pound versus the dollar just plummeted.
I knew it.
So that's great. Obviously, I don't have any dollars yet, so hopefully that will rebuild itself by then.
It was back up to 1.14 or something.
Oh God!
Yeah.
And then obviously, it's good old Storm Ian just decided to wreck everything.
Normally they come up with some pretty cool names,
But you know how the naming works?
It goes to the alphabetical thing,
and it alternates male and female.
But of all names, Ian's a bit of a dead one. No offense to anyone called Ian. Ian's a great name, but for a storm, it's not that cool.
Can you imagine if that ends up being the most violent one they've ever had?
If you are
unsuspecting Ian,
if you are called Ian and you take umbrage with what Harry just said, please do drop a message or an emoji just to point out.
Send a storm into his
and
inbox.
Then, if your last name is Beale, big fan, love your work.
But yeah, let us know if you've got a problem with that and you think that you could storm like a motherfucker. That's fine. But yeah, so I feel like
Wait, what date are you going away?
Well, I don't want to reveal that because I might get burgled.
No, because I'm going away as well.
When are you going away?
It's fine. I'll do it on my own, guys. Leave me the
to
stuff.
The 19th.
Oh, that's fine then. That's pretty much while I'm away.
Oh, fantastic! Thanks for encouragement. Haha.
Just leave me the podcast stuff. I'll do a Q&A.
It just means it will have to be organised for a change. So we need to plan our dates. After this, we'll do some admin. Sorry for listening or watching this, but we'll do some admin and discuss when we're going to do the next 3 or 4.
I'm going to bring my laptop with me while I'm away so I can work anyway.
And mate, really? You say that. I always do that. I always take my stuff.
No,
I always I'm going to
away.
work. I've got to work. Oh, yeah, but you're like an online coach now, aren't you?
I'm in everything.
You're one of those questionable online coaches.
I'm a YouTuber.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, no.
Well, me and Mike are YouTubers now.
We're all YouTubers.
YouTubers.
Yeah, I always take my laptop if I have to actually go away for an extended period of time.
But yeah, I managed to really shit myself up whilst I was away because obviously when I go away, I hire a car. And when I had annoying, I don't know why, but I didn't get an SUV, and Cyprus is notoriously not great road-wise. There's a lot of off-roady things. That's what the hand symbol's for. and it was nighttime and I had to park somewhere, and the main car park was full, so I thought I'd use like the shitty overflow thing, not realising massive pothole.
Oh, love it.
Massive pothole. I was like, that sounds like I've really damaged something.
What car do you have?
They'd given me a Skoda Octavia.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
Dadmobile.
Yeah, exactly. I hated it. Normally I get like a little SUV, which is fine.
Granny pants
I had
over
like
there.
a nice Kia. I wanted a nice Kia SUV, didn't get it. Anyway, next day, daylight, thought I'd have a quick look underneath. Lo and behold, I ripped a massive hole in the under panel of the car.
Yeah, big glue. Duct tape
and
paint.
And then driving on the motorway later that day, another bit ripped off.
No longer a problem then. Fixed it.
And literally was dragging on the road, so I had to pull over and just basically pull it off. It's like, fuck, I'm fucked. I'm basically fucked. And then I thought to myself, oh, it's all right because it's insured. Read the small print. And you know when you hire a car, often they get a highlighter pen out and get you to sign next to things.
Yeah.
One of the things they highlighted and got me to sign next against is to say that off-road use is not covered by the insurance, and any damage to the underside of the car is not covered by the insurance.
Yeah, but it wasn't off-road; it was simply just a pothole in the road.
It kind of was off-road.
When I went to Abu Dhabi, I had to drive because the person who was going to drive couldn't attend because of the vid, and they gave me this Nissan something. It's just like a crappy little like go-kart. And all the roads in Abu Dhabi, it's just like 4 roads. It's like airport, into the desert, and then over there somewhere else. And it was like shit o'clock in the morning. The 2 people with me were asleep because we spent all the day in the sun running through the desert. And I hit an animal. I don't know what I hit. And
could have been a person.
It could have been a person.
Sorry, vegans.
And the car was so small, it violently woke them up, and we all just started screaming. And then I had to pull over, and the car was fine. It was one of those like really crappy old ones. It's so robust.
To be fair, I went to Portugal years and years ago, and I rented a car, and they gave me it was like a 900 something cc Fiat 500. And when I tell you, because obviously I'm heavy, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we went down a hill, and obviously if it goes down, it's going to have to come up eventually. When I say the hill it was a mountain. It was a steep incline. And I was in first gear, flooring it, and it was creeping. I mean, like
you could have got out and walked.
At one point, I was like, and he said to her, I was like, one of us going to have to push, man. I was like, this is not going well. And it was literally, the better around the hill, probably 60 meters. It wasn't very far. Minutes. I was flooring the car. I was like,
smoke coming out of it.
Literally, I was like, this is the most embarrassing. Cars looking behind me, trying to overtake me. Beep, beep. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about this. The car just was not moving. I was like, this is the worst day of my life. And then we finally got to the top. It was
it's really fast on the way down.
Yeah, really fast. I'm not sure about that.
I can trump that stress actually, because I borrowed a friend's car to drive to Europe. We were all driving together. She was like, oh, you can drive. And then on the way back, for whatever reason, a part of the car failed, so the car went into like limp mode.
Oh, safety mode, yeah.
And it was a Range Rover, a big car. It's like 5 of us in the car. We had to get back, and it just was not really accelerating at all. It was
really limits power.
Yeah, exactly. So we're on the M25, and there's the section of the M25 after Gatwick where you're heading towards Heathrow or whatever, and it's a big steep hill.
Yeah.
It would not go over 35 miles an hour on the M25.
Love it. Don't need to go faster than that.
And it took about 5 minutes to get out of this hill. It was and cars screaming past us. It was the most terrifying thing.
Mine did the same. Mine blew up before I got rid of it. It did that. It went into limp mode, and you put your foot down, and it revs. Yeah, nothing.
When I used to have years ago, I had a Vauxhall Astra. It was like a 1.9 turbo diesel, and I think when the injectors started failing, and then the EGR valve and like 4 times as well, and every time it did, it went into safety mode, and it just died. I couldn't get above 30 miles per hour, and I was like, oh God's sake, not this again. Took it to the garage, and it was £150 to fix it. Every 3 months, I was like, here we go, and again.
Me again.
And they're like, this is not going well, is it? So I sold it.
Good for you.
God, I miss it. I don't miss it, actually. Fuel economy, great. Miles per gallon, incredible.
How are you going to feel when you get rid of your car?
Bit sad, actually.
Yeah.
I love it. I've had it for...
Mems.
Yeah, it's just a good car. It's a good car, the brum brum. But it's going to be sad. I've got to pimp it up a bit to make it more sellable. I think
it'll be less than a week and you'll be totally over it.
100%. Especially after what we're acquiring. Laughing. Can't wait to better fuel economy as well. It's blown my mind.
I know, right?
Does this music help, by the way?
What? We're talking about music.
Tonight.
Imagine I'm doubling the horsepower.
Wait, here comes the impression.
Here
He
we
can
go.
do it.
He's gonna start laughing. He's gonna start laughing.
On tonight's show, we're going to be talking about how the economy's ruined cars for everybody.
But also save
Harry
mine.
hits a tree.
Oh no!
We're going to set fire to everything.
Mike loses his mind.
I haven't missed either of you. But yeah, now I'm doubling the horsepower and increasing the miles per gallon. It's incredible scenes. Oh, we have fun.
Anyway, good car chat. I think we could probably move past car chat.
Let's talk about important things in the realm of fitness today. Starting with
Well, we'll intro the podcast in a minute, I guess. But I just wanted to check. Obviously, it's been a while. We got everything off our chest that we need to get off. Are we all good?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm fairly stressed. I've got a lot going on at the moment, so this needs to run smoothly.
I've got an itchy armpit. That's about it, really.
I'm in Manchester tomorrow. I'm in Belgium on Saturday, and then home again on Sunday. So
This boy's, miles on miles
Mr.
on
Worldwide.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
Jet set Willie.
He said Willie.
It's a hint into what he's getting.
Press the button.
All right, we're just going to get on with it.
There's nothing.
Yeah, that's right. We don't talk anymore.
I can't wait till we get flagged for copyright on YouTube for this behaviour.
Well, it's only like 10 seconds. It's a
I don't know what the...
We're going to be demonetized, guys.
We're not even, to clarify, we're not even monetized, so I don't know that.
Not yet.
But
is it recording? Where's the red...
Yeah,
it is, just checking.
That music was in relation to the fact that we haven't seen each other properly in a long time, and it feels like we just don't talk anymore.
It's been a dream come true, to be honest.
News, I have a coach. I paid money for a coach.
Yeah, do you tell me about this? Yeah, you did tell me about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's exciting because I now have someone else to tell me that I don't train enough.
Oh, hang on. So you've got a PT?
It's an online coach.
What, for your training or your business?
No, just for my coach, like as in my training.
Oh, wow. So someone's going to write training plans for you?
Yeah. And I actually have to say, I've really enjoyed the process so far.
Who is it?
It's a guy called Killian Hamilton.
Is it Cillian Murphy, the actor?
Killian, it is. That's right. I'm going into acting.
Bicep curls.
Cillian Murphy.
And it's been awesome because it's a slightly different way of programming than I'm used to.
Are you hurt that he didn't ask you?
You know what? This guy's too busy.
We had this conversation. He even said to me, he goes, I should have asked you, shouldn't I? I was like, that's right. I feel like with Mike, I get too carried away trying to piss him off.
I think also sometimes
bicep curls 7 days a week, Mike.
I think getting your friends to do your programming. There's some. I don't know. I think you need someone who's going to treat you more like a client and less like a friend.
Yeah, I find it really hard as a whole. I think Mike probably finds this as well. It's really hard working with people who are close friends or family.
Oh, massively.
That's why I used to train my sister back in the day. Love her to bits, man. But we used to fall out all the time.
I don't mind if you think I'm being a piece of shit for not training hard enough. If
Yeah.
Killian thinks that, he will tell me and I will be like, yeah, okay, fair.
Oh, my thought titties.
There you go. Anyway, welcome back. We are here. I'm very sorry. We've been very shit. But once again, I'm going to say the same thing we always say. We are committed to regular podcasts, and we're going to get a plan in place to make sure we don't let you, the listener, the viewer, down again in future.
Done past it is the start of a toxic relationship. I've heard that before.
This is episode 15 of Pump Fiction. I am Christy Fellows. He is Michael Carter, and he is Harry Moore. And we love you guys, and thank you for all your kind listens, views, and reviews and all that shit.
Yes.
Google review us.
That's the professional preamble.
You can't do that yet, but you could.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be professional. Anyway, today's show.
Glad you are.
Today's show, we're going to be talking about the things you don't like doing. That's a subject.
Like watching us.
Any other subjects you'd care to proffer?
Citrulline malate.
Citrulline malate. I don't know if you've know what that is. But we're going to be talking about it. It relates to the quality of your workout, shall we say, and how you prepare for a workout. It's a component, but we will go into detail shortly. And also,
Please don't ask me because I've already forgotten.
Stupid things on the Instagram.
That'll do. There's a lot of that. There's an awful lot of stupid shit on Instagram that especially pertains to training as well.
Oh, God, yes.
So we'll come to that. But yeah, guys, welcome back. It's good to have you here. Hello, Harry. Hello, Michael.
It's good to be back.
Hello.
Hello. Good.
Let's go.
Fine.
So what we chatting shit about first?
First topic, and this was one that I put forward to the group, was the fact that, and it's quite a common thing, it goes back many, many years, and it's ultimately why men skip leg day, because they don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So therefore, they don't do it. I enjoy leg day, so I do leg day. But essentially, the key thing I'm trying to say here is far too often, people will skip the exercises that they don't like doing. But the key to continual success is to really embrace that shit. And really, if you don't like doing something, there's a reason for it. And maybe go back to the basics and build back up again. And that's something I wanted to talk about. Don't know if you guys have any opinions on that.
No, definitely. I think when it comes to things you're not good at, you tend to avoid them. So and in training, that is probably not a good strategy if you want to make continued growth.
I had a conversation with a friend who is a powerlifter, and I continually see him doing squats and deadlifts. He's very good at it. And I said to him, why I don't see you doing bench rep? And he said, I hate doing bench. I just do it occasionally. And I was like, well, but you're a powerlifter, so surely you want to be good at all three things.
Sounds like you'd be talking to Mandeep.
Yes, I didn't want to go namesy.
He's Mandeep, isn't
part
it?
Of team,
I knew it.
Part of team fuck bench, isn't he?
He always says to me, he goes, oh, Harry, see, my bench is really laying me down. I was like, you know Mandeep is laying you down. That's facts.
Yeah.
So you got a crap bench, man.
How many times you bench? Once every 2 weeks?
Yeah, I meant to bench every time I squat, but I just...
Well,
I'm not very good at it, so I don't do it. I was like, Mandeep, you're too big to have a shit bench, man.
Yeah.
I was like, some of
the man
arms
is stacked. He's incredible. He's a great lifter.
Oh, he's a great dude.
And during this conversation, I said, right, well, so if your bench is shit, should you not be doing that more than everything else in order to bring it up a little bit? He was like, yeah, probably should, but
anyway, bye.
That was that. But then it's similar to other things. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. In the last month or so, I've really neglected hack squats simply because I've found more enjoyment through other exercises, so I've been putting more into improving those.
Single leg press.
You've seen me doing a lot of that.
I've seen him.
Yeah, but I'm making great progress with it, which I'm happy with. But therefore, because I've enjoyed making progress with that, I've neglected the other one, which I was making progress with, but now guaranteed I go back to it and feel probably back at square one again. It's all that stuff. And it's like, the more you neglect the stuff you don't enjoy and you keep doing the stuff you do enjoy, you're just going to get imbalance, and it's not going to... I don't know, I just feel like people need to be more brave and just say, fuck it, I'm going to do the stuff I don't enjoy.
A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Remember that?
Oof. Fortune cookie over there.
I'm deep, aren't I? I really am. Yeah, I think it's quite a common thing you see, not just powerlifters, just people in general. They just don't do, like you said, they don't do the things they're bad at, or don't do the things they need to get better at, because I think partly an ego thing. Oh, I can't lift as much here, so I don't want to do it, but I can lift more doing this. I'm going to do that to show off to everyone who doesn't care how much I lift. So yeah, I think it's one of the things of develop the body as a whole.
I think there's another subject that we could potentially talk about, and that's lagging body parts. And I don't know if we've mentioned it on previous shows, but ultimately, if you've got a lagging body part, you're going to have to train it more than others. And let's say your legs are a lagging body part, then maybe you should be doing 2 leg workouts a week.
Yeah, maybe even more. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Or just looking at different ways to improve them, or different exercises that you might be afraid of doing, but ultimately they are going to help you. And for me, I've like this year, or the last 18 months, I've improved certain areas of my body that needed work, that obviously I had been neglecting without realizing, like front delts, for example, I felt had been a weakness. So in the last 18 months, I've probably trained them 3 times a week.
That's a good shout, yeah.
And now they're in line with my medial delts and my rear delts, which is great.
Well, see, when you're kind of going down the realm of like weak body or lagging body parts, sometimes you almost have to sacrifice growth of your strong body parts to give it to the weak body parts. So for example, if you're doing front delts 3 or 4 times a week, you may have to sacrifice the growth of other areas so you can put that extra volume and effort into the laggy areas. Doesn't mean you're not going to grow. You'll either maintain or slow down progression, but you will accelerate progression where it needs to be accelerated until you're more of a level playing field, and then you can go again, sort of thing.
Yeah,
some people find it really hard that, my chest is really big, I'm going to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, but the lagging body parts They're still going to
Yeah.
lag more and more and more. You're
That's
actually making the gap even bigger. So you're going to have to do more catch-up time to fill in that gap.
Definitely, and adaptation is very I can't even say the word specific to what you do the most of. So if you don't do a lot of arm training or anything like that, then don't expect your arms to grow as quickly as the rest of it. But it is you're right with the ego thing. I think that's what it is. Like no one likes to struggle, let alone struggle in front of
They don't like to be seen struggling. Yeah.
They do or they don't know as well. Like you see people come in, they do their hero lift, don't they? Because they're like, oh yeah, I just want to remind people how strong I am.
Everyone I'm benching today, you need to know that.
We all have exercises we prefer, and therefore you get more enjoyment out of doing them. It's just that it's why guys love training chest, because who doesn't love a good chest pump?
And if you're training when you feel motivated, then you're going to do things which are going to motivate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just going to keep doing the motivating things, which is anterior focused.
Yeah, 100%. Because, if you can't see it in the mirror,
It doesn't exist.
don't train it. Don't need to train
It's
it.
like that cat in a box.
Yeah.
If you can't see it, is it even there?
It's one of the things of like, I think if you can train the muscle groups you really don't want to train, when you really aren't motivated to train, it probably shows a lot about your like commitment and discipline to training.
Definitely.
Like if you hate doing leg day and you're not in the mood to train, but you still go in and do the worst day for you on the day you're least motivated to do it, I think if you can get through a shit workout, you probably get through any other workout.
Definitely.
It's good, like character building, so we call it.
The other thing I think that applies here is if for whatever reason you end up you can't do the workout you don't like doing on a particular day because you're busy, or you just you found an excuse to not do it, is the following day, instead of doing that workout, you skip to the next one. So
I've done that
because it's a Monday. Oh, Monday's chest day. I can't do legs on a Monday because Monday's chest day. But you miss legs, so shouldn't you just do legs on the Monday?
That's why I kind of run and do this with clients as well. It's like almost like a rolling split. I never do Monday to this. Monday I do session 1, session 2, session 3, session 4, for example. It's like you can do all 4 sessions in a row if you want to. Rather you not, but you can. But at the end of the day, you have 4 days to train this week. If you can train 4 days, if you miss Monday leg day, you're not going to session 2. You're doing session 1 on Tuesday. You can do session 2 the next day, sort of thing. Just otherwise, people get a bit sneaky. And obviously, people have lives. People have jobs they can't commit to always doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, for example. Sometimes they can only do Monday to Thursday, or sometimes they can't train till Wednesday. So I feel like if you just say you need to do this on this day, you need to do this on this day, I think it's quite an isolated approach and it's quite limited. But in reality,
people need flexibility.
Yeah, 100%. Otherwise, they're not going to stick to it. And if they miss a day, they're going to feel awful. But imagine if you miss a day but realise, I could do it tomorrow and nothing changes in my week.
That's something that I think we take probably around this table for granted. I've got a client who had a family member have an accident. Nothing too serious, but it meant he couldn't train. And he started freaking out because he was like, I can't come into the gym today. And I was like, it's fine, just do it tomorrow. He was like, is that okay? I was like, yeah, your body's going to be pretty chill about that. Don't worry about it. And it kind of just reminded me that, I should stop assuming that people understand how these principles actually apply through a program.
I think the other thing is, let's say, again, I had this conversation with a client, is woke up, just wasn't feeling great. For whatever reason, just wasn't feeling great, felt low energy. I said, just do your session tomorrow then. Do you mean, like, the thing is, you imagine you kind of got options. Go into the gym and force yourself to train to, at best, not progress and maintain. You're not going to progressively overload because you're not feeling good, but you'll maintain. Or delay it a day and actually progress from that session. So it's like either maintain today or progress tomorrow. I'd rather progress tomorrow. Like, I don't know about you, I'd rather delay it and actually progress that session or progress that week than power through and just maintain at best.
It removes this idea of like it's a tick box exercise. Of like I just do the session. And I think it goes back to that, I think we've mentioned it before, that switch or that dial mentality. Like, think of your training and your diet as like a dial. Like, you're rarely going to have a 9 or a 10 out of 10 day. So just aim for like a 6.5 or 7 if you're not feeling so good. And that might mean that you have to eat a little suboptimally and just get some more calories in so you can train better tomorrow or something. Yeah. And it just gives the flexibility, because a lot of people, training isn't their life and they can't put the focus into where they need to, and they will drop it quickly if they have to go do something else. Especially if pops up in their life.
Especially if there's too much pressure to do it and it's too much of a commitment. Whereas if you give them flexibility, it's not really an issue anymore. It's less of an issue, I should say.
So circling back to people, to basically doing things you don't like doing. Let's say there is stuff that you know you should be doing, but you're not. Is there any advice to basically try and get into it and try and get more enjoyment out of it? Do you think starting, drop the ego, drop the weight and just start light and just start working harder at it.
I'd say just remember why you're doing it. As simple as, I don't like doing hack squats. Yeah, but why do you need to do hack squats? I know it's really good for my quads and my quads are lagging. There you go. Now you have a reason. Now put that reason to use. Don't think, I don't like doing this because I'm weak. No one cares how much you're lifting.
I mean, obviously, if there's a physical reason, like,
if you're injured or something, it's fair enough.
Or if it's just if it's just a movement that you don't find comfortable, or if you genuinely aren't confident doing it, then find a replacement, like Bulgarian split squats. Or
like, for example, I can't do preach curls because every time I do, it causes problems. It always hurts gives me tendonitis. But I can find replacements for that. Which is fine. I don't like preach curls anyway, but it's fine. I could work around it. But if you don't have a physical limitation, we'll say, or a limitation that is beyond just don't want to do it, then I think you need to remember why you're doing it and then use that as that driving factor of, I'm doing this for a reason. Here's my reason. That reason outweighs my desire not to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, cool.
Yeah, I would say like maybe gradual exposure to something.
Yes.
So if you really hate training legs, then maybe just start by not having a leg a day, but add some leg exercises to a day.
Just chuck some leg extensions at the start of your push day. Because you do it at the end, you're not going to do it.
Do more body weight work on legs to start with if you want to start, getting the body used to it.
That's what they say about, like, for example, you say about doing calves, for example. They say if you hate doing calves and you always skip them, do them at the start of your session. It's probably not going to take anything away from your session, but it means you can't skip them at the end because you're tired. And you're not going to skip the rest of that session.
I have really been skipping calves because I'm a runner now. Because I run like 3 times a week.
Level 6 runner.
He's a level 6 runner.
I don't want crazy calf DOMs, and also I feel like running probably helps calves anyway, I guess. Builds it a little bit.
Repeat exposure stimulus will probably do something.
They're pretty hardy muscles.
Find me a runner that doesn't have some solid calf development to an extent.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, validation. I'm happy with that.
But still train calves.
Still train calves. Don't find excuses.
I probably should. But yeah, running's going all right. I'm actually tempted to enter the New York Marathon next year.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. We could go to New York.
I was literally just thinking.
There we go.
I don't really like New York, but I'll go.
What do you mean you don't really like New York?
It's too busy. I prefer LA.
Yeah, but
it's my favourite city, man.
Sugarfish, the sushi, was so good I nearly threw it back up so I could eat it again. It was that good. Honestly.
Very visual.
One of my friends I went with didn't eat sushi for 3 years after that because he knew it would not live up to that.
I had some really good poke in LA, actually.
Oh, here he goes. That's hippie. Too fair. It does bang, doesn't it?
I love poke.
Yeah, it's actually.
If you're in a bind when you're out and you want to eat healthy, poke is the ultimate choice if you can get it.
I just love LA food, man.
LA Marathon, is that a thing?
Probably.
I'll be hot though.
They've got a couple of cheesecake factories in LA as well, which is good.
Oh yeah, I know they're bang. One of the cheesecakes has 1,400 calories per slice.
I've had them all.
Yeah.
No, one of them's got like 2,000. I'm sure. No, hang on. It's the carrot cake cheesecake carrot cake cheesecake has got 1,400 calories in it.
Have you seen the chocolate mousse one?
I've had them all.
That is the best thing I've ever had.
He's seen it. He's had it in his mouth.
I'm literally there's a few countries in the world that have cheesecake factory. Obviously America, a couple in Canada.
Yeah, got Middle East as well.
Dubai, Middle East has them. But bizarrely, there's one in Istanbul. I am literally tempted to go there for a weekend just so I can eat that brown honey bread they make and loads of cheesecake.
Can we just get a cheesecake factory in England? Because why has it not been a thing?
I think the reason for this is because the portions at Cheesecake Factory are obscene.
Insane.
And I think they probably just wouldn't pass British regulations. There's got to be some sort of rule in this country because we don't have a lot of kind of big American chains that do massive portions, do we?
The cheesecake.
Well, they don't supersize things like they do in America.
I was not well after I had one slice. I was not well.
I did probably one of my biggest ever meals at Cheesecake Factory, which was a big starter of like pretzel coated fried chicken and onion rings. Then I did their grande burrito, which is like that, and then I did the cheesecake afterwards.
I'd be sick.
I think the whole meal was probably about 4,000 calories.
And the rest, I reckon. And
maybe more.
I'm scared.
And the bread. I forgot the bread.
I'm scared to eat at Cheesecake Factory.
Why?
Because we met when we were over.
Don't get you got the root. Someone told you all the secrets about how bad.
Well, we befriended one of the waitresses there. Yeah. Her sister, and her wife, and we all went mini golfing together. It was bare fun, not gonna lie. Okay. Still speak to now the ex-wife, and they were there like I was like, tell us secrets. They're like, what do you mean? I was like, tell us about the food. They said, please don't order food. Obviously, it's all microwave shit. We know that's fine, but they said they don't wash the plates properly.
Yeah, I think you've said this story on the show before.
Yeah, they should just eat from a Tupperware box and you'll be fine. But they said the cheesecake's really good. They said that's all good. That gets brought in externally. It's all good.
Okay.
So I was like, bless.
Oh, fucking, I don't care. I'll eat it all.
Yeah, I've eaten much worse things than that.
On the regulations thing, it just reminded me. I was in the supermarket yesterday and they had a sign up saying that they're moving stuff around in the store because of new.
Is that just
things.
to really annoy blind people?
Probably. Yeah, people that just love habit and just like they don't like change. And it's to do with some kind of new laws and legislation that's being passed to do with like high fat foods, high sugar foods. So I need to read into it more. But
is all the sugar stuff going to the top shelf?
Probably. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, so small, like short people can't reach it. It's not very nice.
Small children maybe.
How dare you bulk?
Yeah, I wonder if it's.
I bet Harry bought porn when he was younger from newsagents.
I bought
to the back of the store.
No, I went to
Or did you slip it into a newspaper and try and steal it?
No, so when I was 15, I went on a French trip with school.
Did you buy bangers and flick knives?
No, I went to the
classic.
I'm trying to think how we got there. I want to say we got like
always bangers. Always bangers.
I went to WH Smith at the station or something with like my teacher was there and everything. I bought a Zoo magazine.
Ooh, nice.
Just to see if they would sell it to me without IDing me. I was 15 and they did, and I was like,
Zoo and nuts.
So we were sat in. I think it was like. So we were sat on I think we got the ferry, and I was sat on the ferry just with my friend, just
balls deep.
The Zoo magazine in front of our teacher, Mr. Gruner, and he was just looking at us, just shaking his head,
reading the football articles.
And I was just saying, like, yeah, they sold it to me because I look like an adult. Obviously, I didn't, and I'm pretty sure it lived in my under my bed for.
Fear.
I mean, like, I want to say like. It must have been like 10 years or something, and it was covered in dust because I got back from the thing, threw it under there, hid it from Mum, and just never saw it again. And they completely forgot. Then when I started like moving stuff around, I was like, I found it. And it was like decomposing.
Oh, God.
It was just old paper, just covered in dust and shit.
Okay, covered in dust. Okay, just covered in dust.
2018 edition of Zoo. Just like, oh, why are the pages
only covered in dust?
Pages won't stick together.
No one's faffing over a magazine.
Who was your first crush in your teenage years? Shall we say? I'm going to say crush.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who kind of stimulated you as a younger man?
I don't know. I can't really think of anyone.
Pink Ranger.
No, to be fair, I remember my first childhood crush.
Pink Ranger.
Like when remember Spy Kids like 3D when that first came out, I was really young. There was I used to
cartoon.
No, Spy Kids was real people.
Oh, 3D, okay.
Yeah, Spy Kids 3D. And there was the main character girl in that when I was a kid. I loved her. I was like, I want her to be my wife one day.
I'm going to have to Google.
No idea what her name was. I just remember I was like, I must have been like 10 years old or something. And I loved her.
No, Pink Ranger.
Spy Kids 3D.
Yeah, the girl with black
Game
hair.
over.
I remember. Yeah, great movie. It wasn't. It was awful, but I loved it. I'm not going to lie. You can show me. I won't remember.
Probably not the dude, but it might be.
The actress's name, I believe, is Alexa Penavega.
Show me.
Oh, wait. No, hang on.
Does she have black hair?
Well, not now, but
she did in the. Well, I haven't seen her since I was like 10.
Hang on, let me Spy Kids.
Enlarge.
Hang on.
It wasn't the main girl. It was like it was the baddie. It was like because it was them, the main people. Can't remember their names, Cortez or something. And then there was the two baddies, so they were against each other, and it was the sister of the baddie team.
I can't believe I'm typing in.
That's such a niche person.
Yeah, I just remember because I remember I saw it in the cinema.
Anyone famous?
I've just typed in Spy Kids 3D Bad Girl. I'm already
careful
concerned.
with that one.
Yeah, very concerned.
You're
here we go.
This go on a list.
Yeah, I loved her when I was like 10.
Okay, fine. I mean, yeah, great.
I was like, yeah, whenever that came out.
Demetra is the name of the character.
Probably why I loved her.
Yeah,
probably why I loved her. And then I remember went to the cinema with my mum to see it because obviously I wasn't even a teenager at this point. And
look, let's reach out to her. Let's find her in the.
You don't know me, but 18 years ago I loved you.
She's going to appreciate that. You're a big star on YouTube now. You know, she's probably just working.
Do a reaction video on something that she's done recently. I'd love that. Just a quick one. Just like, let's watch some footage.
I don't want to play this game anymore. I want to go home.
I can't help but feel we've spiraled out of control. But
that's
I feel like
listen.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Are we all happy that we've covered doing the things you don't like doing?
Do stuff you don't like.
Let's talk about drugs.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to.
Drugs?
Yeah, I don't know. I just like saying drugs.
Move us swiftly on. Okay.
Supplements.
Yeah, so the next one is a core ingredient to something that some of you will be very familiar with, and that is pre-workout. Pre-workout takers?
No, I haven't taken pre-workout since the original Jack.
We had this discussion before about you dumping your load after taking pre-workout, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, I took it one time and I was on the toilet for days.
There we go.
That was flashbacks. I blocked that memory out.
Do you take anything before a workout to maximise your workout in any way?
I put salt in a quarter of a teaspoon or third of a teaspoon of salt, shove it in my mouth and drink water.
Right. So just salt for you.
I literally just take salt.
So
And then
recently,
obviously I have my insurance stuff. But
I have pre-workout I have my EAAs before my workout. But the only reason I do that is because I mix it with Citrulline Malate, which is an ingredient of a lot of pump-based pre-workouts, and it was recommended to me by a nutritionist friend. And I have to say that it is really helping me get better pumps in my workout. And the only reason I have the EAAs with that is because the Citrulline Malate doesn't taste of anything.
yeah, so you get some flavour in there.
So therefore, literally, when I'm driving to the gym, I'm downing my EAAs to get some flavour in there, and also they're going to help me anyway. But yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on Citrulline Malate, but I wanted to bring it to the table.
I think based on like my kind of understanding, I'm not big in the old pre-land, but it's always deemed to be a fundamental product, like ingredient that is in pre. So they always look for like beta-alanine, citrulline malate, caffeine, depending if it's stimulant-based or like focus-based, whatever. But citrulline malate is always deemed to be one of the ones you have to look for. I can't remember the recommended dose. Is it like?
I think it's 9 grams.
I thought it used to be
You can
6.
have a lot.
It used to be 6 grams, I think.
My nutritionist said 9 grams to me, obviously.
So they must have
but there's
bumped up.
different sizes of people, so
I think they used to label it as you want 6 grams of it or something.
You might be just to start small and
It's quite cheap as well.
your
I just buy it off.
tolerance.
I buy it off Amazon, like Peak Supplements or something. It comes in
cheap,
comes
isn't
in
it?
a big bag. It's not particularly expensive. You could have it with squash, but honestly, I feel like it since I've been having it, and I gave some to my other half, and she noticed a difference as well.
I'm gonna look at it right now.
it helps with
It's not a stimulant. It's just a pump. It's just
it's almost, I think, is it a vasodilator? It helps with like oxygen and blood flow to the muscles.
The other thing that Lawrence said to me when I was training the other day was how vascular I was.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So
Yeah.
therefore-
propels circulatory function.
There we go. I remembered something from
So
my
think-
studies.
So essentially, if the key thing that it does is propel circulatory function, that's exactly what you're looking for in a workout.
100%.
That's what the pump is. It's about getting blood to your muscles.
Oh, it's bare cheap.
Better than coming.
But these are all capsules. I don't want that.
No, just get the powder for.
Powder. It's £20 for 500 grams.
Nah, this can get it cheaper than that.
It's This is.
And I think with those kind of things, obviously, anything else then you're taking with it, it's helping the uptake of those things because it's improving
That's quite good.
circulation.
Yeah.
So if you're taking, essential amino acids or caffeine and things, it's going to help with that transportation of those things. So it's like
Especially if you're. Like if you've been on quite a high carb diet for quite a long time, like a massing phase or whatever, and your insulin sensitivity is a bit all over the shop, but you're not really getting sick pumps anymore, then could that help fill that gap?
Potentially.
Maybe? Potentially. Again, I'm just theorising.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
insulin sensitivity is kind of questioned or in question, we should say, because again, you kind of just familiarise yourself with such high carbs for so long. If you can fill that pump gap, then maybe it will accelerate kind of nutrient flow across the body.
Definitely.
Or through the body, I should say.
Supplements have gone up in price again recently.
They have, I know.
Yeah, I
I
think
look at
everything has, isn't
And
it?
there's me throwing my wallet at the computer saying, "God damn it.
Taking my money.
I just want creatine monohydrate, leave me alone."
I know.
Yeah.
I've got some of that quite cheaply recently, actually.
Shout out to CMP, please sponsor me.
Yeah, true.
Still waiting.
Got some stuff from another supplier recently, actually.
Oh, he's a traitor.
But it was cheap, and they're a decent brand. But anyway,
With creatine, I should look for creatine.
creatine
Yeah.
monohydrate is the most
you can't
basic.
really go wrong with
It's
it.
Yeah.
It's another fundamental. So I think there was another nutritionist on the internet talking the other day about scientifically proven stuff. One of them was creatine monohydrate. Another one, he said, different nutritionist, the other guy that I spoke to, said again citrulline malate. And then other ones were just your classics like your whey protein. But there is very few things that are scientifically proven to benefit you. So, but we could drill down into pre-workout ingredients on another episode, perhaps.
Yeah,
Pick them apart a little bit.
Pick
Some
them
of you
apart.
probably take pre-workout.
Build your own.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting
Build a
thing
bear.
because, like, I stopped taking pre-workouts years ago, probably similar reasons to you, because they used to wake me up in the middle of the night. For me personally, but technically, if you take out the ingredients that don't agree with you, you can build your own.
Well, I was thinking, if you train late at night after work and you probably go to bed shortly after training, the last thing you want to take is a big stimulant-driven, caffeine-heavy pre-workout. So if you can pick apart the bits and bobs and put the beta-alanine in there, put the citrulline malate in there, get some caffeine separately if you want to put a quarter of a dose of caffeine in there, so you can actually essentially, like I said, build your own pre-workout.
Find out what actually works, the actual active ingredients that respond with you, rather than just a cocktail of everything.
One of the biggest problems with pre-workout manufacturers is literally they as far as they're concerned, if they sell you a product and you feel like it's messing with you, then it's working. It's a success.
It's the real deal.
So that if you take it and you feel like really like hyper and jittery, then you're going to be like, in your own mind, the placebo effect is like, this stuff's amazing. I feel like crazy. But is it actually improving your workout? Probably not.
Or have they just loaded you full of beta-alanine to give you the tingles to make you think you're absolutely juiced to the gills?
Did you ever try Craze when it came out?
No, I had Jacked, the original.
Yeah.
So I listened to
Craze
a podcast.
was that the little yellow tub?
Purple,
it was a black tub with a purple.
Yeah,
it was like DSN, I think, was the company. So I listened to a podcast not too long ago about supplements, and he was talking about how expensive it is and why some of the brands are really expensive because they want to go for the high quality ingredients, effective doses. They get away in the FDA of like sprinkling it in and saying it's got enough in, but really it's not even enough of something.
Yeah.
The lion's mane's a good one. You got to have a certain amount in there for it to actually work properly. And he was saying how a lot of these companies, they appear, they create this crazy pre-workout that has lots of very interesting, like grey subject matter, like ingredients, get really popular, grow the brand, pull the ingredients out, or get shut down by the FDA, then just reopen as another company. And that's why you see so many of these like off-label brands just suddenly appear and then disappear, because they make all their money, keep it, dump it into the next venture, and they just keep doing that.
Well, that's why... God, I remember the Jacked days.
Yeah.
Do you know what the funniest thing was? It used to get something like 45 servings per tub, and it was £15. It was horrendously cheap, and it was the strongest pre-workout you could. It was literally.
It's just meth.
Well, it was DMAA, wasn't it? Which was basically speed.
Geranium extract.
Well, it was 1,3-dimethylene or something.
Yeah.
And it was essentially an amphetamine, which is why they got pulled, because they were like, "This is illegal. This is."
Oh, and the guy died doing the marathon.
Oh, loads of people died.
Yeah.
With underlying health conditions, to be fair, but still, they died.
They took it like halfway through as well. They were like, "I need some energy."
Yeah, maybe don't do like crazy pre-workouts in a marathon.
I knew it was a bad time because the first time I ever took it, I'll never forget this. I had the best workout. I got 3 reps on my PB. I was just pissed. I was going for it. And then I got home and sat in the room and cried for 3 hours. I just felt so low. I felt horrendously down. And it was a come down from the amphetamine. 100%. I was just sat in the dark bedroom, literally so down.
We used
hours.
to train and then be like, "Do you want to go out?" And everyone would be like, "Yeah, go on." And then we used to go out.
My friend used to take pre-workout because he didn't drink. He used to take Jacked before going out and used to top up.
Years ago, I took pre-workout on like stag weekends with me because I knew that I wasn't going to get a lot of sleep. So I didn't
sick pumps,
and I didn't do like cocaine or anything like that. But I did do pre-workout.
Snorty and everything.
I was like in with my roommate. I was like, should we bang in a couple of these before we go out? Bang in a couple of shots of pre-workout.
Apple.
Yes, bang it in. Woo! Yeah.
Just get some reps in if that's okay. My friend Amar got addicted, and he'll admit this, to Craze, because he didn't realise that because it was a non-stim, he wouldn't get that buzz. So it's like it was that long...
Just chasing more and more.
Yeah, he was on like 3 scoops of this stuff, and he'd just sit there at Easy Gym on these little coloured cubes that are at this entrance, just staring at the floor.
Chasing the dragon.
You build up quite a tolerance to it quite quickly, I found. And they always say don't take more than like 3 in 24 hours. At one point I was peaky. I was taking 4 or 5 scoops in one go just to try and get
dry scooping.
Oh yeah, I was doing all sorts. I was literally.
How are you still alive?
I was when I say I was hammering it. When I heard one of the PTU PTs then said to me, he goes, "Oh, by the way, it's actually getting pulled. It's going to be banned in the next."
You stocked up.
Few days. I bought like 5 tubs. I think I've said before, I've still got one of them unopened in my house. It expired 7 years ago.
Are you keeping it just for like Antiques Roadshow?
I just want to see that one day.
Well, here we have. This is original. I can see the seal is unbroken. So
it's untouched. But one day I'm going to open that. It's going to be this radioactive thing on this planet, and it's going to be dangerous.
A red light will go off on a dashboard somewhere.
The FBI are going to
like
fly
America.
over, and they're going to confiscate it because it's nuclear at this point.
Yeah, just get a knock at the door. "Excuse me, sir. We just need to take this."
Honestly,
they're going to drop it on
Russia.
Russia.
It's all a solid clump right now of just mass. I bet it's changed colour as well.
You haven't got the silicon gel beads in there.
When you open tub of something, it's all congealed into a powdery ball. It's like, this isn't good, guys.
Moisture's got in there.
Yeah, and it ruins it. It ruins it.
You just got to chew it.
Okay, that's more than enough pre-workout chat.
Last one.
Okay,
we're blitzing for these, aren't we?
Well, look, we did commit to more efficient podcasting, didn't we?
True.
We are coming up to 45 minutes, so that leaves us a decent segment for the third and final piece, which I'll let Harry lead with.
Basically, stupid things on Instagram.
I mean, there's a lot of it.
Trust me, that's why I'm in business.
That's why you're not on Instagram.
That's why I have a YouTube channel, because people do silly things sometimes. And that all started because people were doing silly things on YouTube, on Instagram. But it's basically people taking things that are really good, really effective, probably quite boring, and making them really fun, really fancy, but arguably dangerous and less effective.
And why would they do that?
Hang on. So you're saying I shouldn't do all my exercises whilst balanced on a Bosu ball?
I saw a woman doing
David Weck.
clean and jerks on 2 Bosu balls, one on each leg. It was clean and jerking, and I was like, that is a recipe for injury.
Let's take something really volatile and unstable and make it more unstable.
Yeah. And why are we doing this? Oh, it works your stabilizers. It works your death wish. That's what it does. You're gonna hurt
ends
yourself.
your career.
Literally, you're going to get injured. Like, oh, how do you hurt yourself? I was doing a single arm dumbbell snatch on 3 Bosu balls on my head.
Do you think that's been born out of this whole idea that people think that more is always better? So why do one thing separately when you could do it all at the same time and combine the powers to mega morph it into a super exercise?
Well, I think ultimately leg pressing while shoulder pressing at the same time is the best exercise.
I have often had
See,
this.
I'd rather leg pressing while bicep curling because it's limb pumping.
Or an incline press.
It's not
On
bad.
a 45-degree leg press, you could do an incline press.
Just want to
Good
clarify,
angles.
We're joking. Please don't do that.
Yeah, please don't do that. Also, I'm going to try this later.
This is why we need a Pump Fiction TikTok so we can record hilarious
we do have
versions
TikTok,
of
to be
this.
fair.
We should record hilarious videos of that sort of thing.
Well,
I bought a tripod.
we're going to become tripodders. That's cool.
One of my theories is because I think a lot of people are looking for the shortcut, the easy way to do something. They want to do less of something that gives them more. Laziness to an extent. So if they hear this movement is doing more moving parts, therefore it's a cheat code, it's better, it's a shortcut, they're going to want to do it without realising it's a long cut. It's the opposite of that. But it looks like it might be a shortcut. So maybe it is just them trying to find the easy way out.
Over the years, people have messaged me, like I get DMs from people who've obviously seen and like how I look, which I appreciate, but they always say, and it's usually American people, oh, what's your workout regime? You look sick, what's your workout regime? And I'm like, my workout regime is the fact that I've been training hard for like 8 years. That's it. That's it.
Don't like that answer.
What's that guy?
I haven't got. There isn't a regime that I do that makes me look this way.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I've been doing it consistent. I've been training consistently for years, and my diet is good. It's not my fucking regime. It's not my particular exercise routine that I do. It's fucking consistency, is what it is.
I think what's that guy? Powerlifter, OG powerlifter, Russian guy. Andre or something like that. Massive, doesn't speak a word.
Irrelevant.
English.
Russian guy. Let's go.
But big Russian guy. One of the best powerlifters in the world.
Andreas
I did his training. The powerlifting protocol, Russian training protocol.
No, I don't think he ever did that. But no, I know who you're thinking of. But no, he's just a powerlifter, and he went to a seminar. Had his translator with him because he literally didn't speak a word of English. And someone literally asked him in the crowd, goes, "What's the secret to getting strong?" And his response was, "I've lifted heavy for 25 years. That's it."
Yeah.
That's it. Just do it for a long time.
But that's what I always say to people when they ask me what my regime is. It's basically like
it's irrelevant.
8 years of work.
There's no like training split that the best training split doesn't exist.
No.
The best training split is arguably you can but this is optimal. But if you can't stick to it doesn't mean shit. The best training split is the one that you can stick to because you enjoy it.
I feel like in the last year, since I've got over my various injuries that was moaning about on previous early podcasts, my training feels really fucking good at the moment, and I feel like I'm making some I'm not making a lot of progress because I'm natural and therefore I'm just not going to, but I feel like I'm in better shape.
For now. Natural for now.
Thanks, man. But I tell you one thing, my training is very, very repetitive.
Yeah.
I do the same things over and over again, and I'm quite happy to keep it that way because ultimately it works.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
And I know that I'm hitting everything well. I've hit areas that I needed to improve more, and that has worked. I've got better exercises that I was struggling with. It's just fucking doing it.
I think I actually kind of...
The basics.
Yeah,
you were doing the things that you didn't want to do.
Well,
First question.
Yeah, I need to get back into hack squats, but that's about it.
I say this to clients as well. So, by the way, like training program's not going to change every week because if it does, it's probably shit, depending on goals, obviously.
Yeah.
But I said, realistically, you're probably going to do the same thing for 8+ weeks. I say anywhere from like 8 to 15 weeks is you're going to do largely the same, but you can change things when like staleness occurs.
Yeah, there's variations on similar things.
But even things like, it sounds really, if you want to make variation, you go from doing, let's say, a split squat then you change the elevation of the back foot.
Yeah.
You've now changed the movement, and that you could run that for another block. But Mike Israetel actually did quite a good thing. I was reading his book on Scientific Principles of Hypertrophy.
Great book.
Yeah, I love it.
Very wordy.
Very wordy. And he basically states in it, he goes, at the end of the day, if you're still progressing a movement and it's helping you achieve what you want to achieve, don't change it.
Don't swap it.
If you've progressed it for 2 cycles and you're no longer progressing, you're a bit stale, probably change it. But if you've done it for 2 cycles, let's say, which is 24 weeks total, and you're still progressing, don't change it.
Imagine being able to do something for nearly a year and all the time you're progressing it. Like, why would you want to walk away from that?
Yeah, Christian Guzman said in a video he did with Josh Bridgman, saying that the best program he ever ran from anyone was Jeff Nippard's, and he just did the same movements for 8 months. It was the most effective workout split he ever ran.
I listened to a podcast with Jeff Nippard a while back. I think I mentioned it. It was with Fuad Abiad on his podcast, and it's a really great listen. He goes through everything as a natural bodybuilder and powerlifter, and how he's achieved what he has from training to nutrition. The guy is a good listen.
Who, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I rate Jeff, actually. He's a smart dude, and he explains things well. Ultimately, I think it comes down to is you change things is, the only time you really need to change something is, are you stale, adaptive resistance sort of thing, so it needs to be changed, so you can no longer progress, etc. Have your goals changed, or is it impact your motivation? Because I can't be asked how it's going anymore because I wrote for so long. Can we find variation? Fine, you need a bit of spice.
Yeah.
But realistically, beyond that, major changes don't need to occur. Minor changes, you might change a few accessory things. You might change the angle of the hack squat. Small variations within the movement, which should technically make it a new movement you can milk for another block.
Move your fingers out.
Or you could move. You could change things like intensity. Intensity usually progressive over a cycle or a block or whatever. Volume probably progresses as well. You might start doing lower sets, increase doing slightly higher sets. But beyond the exercises, don't change massively. Unless you could think of actually, we could probably make this even better. Let's tweak it a bit.
I think also, and this is another subject again, is why are you changing it? Why? What are you working towards right now? Are you working towards powerlifting competition, or are you just working to look better? If you need to question what the goal is, and therefore what you change and why you change it needs to have a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're changing something because you're bored of it and you have to do that regularly, then you have to. I do agree. I think you need to look at why you're training.
I think the other thing is, from a coaching perspective, is don't feel I think coaches need to remember not to feel pressured to change things to keep them fun and exciting. If your client is looking at getting the best results, sure, fun and exciting, but could be a goal. I want to keep things fun. You might change it more often.
Change one thing. Maybe.
But if you're really milking the best results, don't fall into the pressure of you need to change things unnecessarily. Also, don't fall into the pressure of you'll probably have multiple clients that run similar days, like lower body days might be similar. Because why am I doing a similar workout to this person?
Because you have the same problems.
Because the same problems, you have the same goal, or because this is a really effective workout because you're doing the leg extension.
Yeah.
One of the best movements, the best movement arguably for the short-term position of rec fem. It's going to be a staple in a lot of movements. You've got a squat pattern in there. Why? Because you want to get a squat pattern. You've got a hip hinge pattern. You've got a hamstring isolation, something like that. Immediately, why are we doing the same thing? Because this is bread and butter. This is really good. I could change it, but I would actually reduce its effectiveness.
Definitely. And you look at you also only have 2 days a week to train.
Yeah.
So this is to get the most out of that.
Yeah. I'm milky because I think I say this to clients now is, I think the majority of value of online coaching doesn't come from the programming. I think the programming is just it's almost like bottom of the list. You get it, but I think the majority of value comes from almost like education. It comes from form analysis. It comes from having that support and having the accountability. But I think one of the big things is form analysis. You've got a really good program, but now every week let's make it even better just by moving better and pick up on the things that they might not necessarily be able to pick up on. Oh, when you're doing this, scapular winging. They can't see that, but you can.
Yeah.
And then they're we need to address that. Okay, how can we address that? Chuck these in here and there. Do this beforehand. Oh my God, I've improved it. Oh, suddenly my shoulders feel better. Mad, crazy. Didn't see that.
You've earned your money there.
Yeah.
It's almost, on Prescript, actually, on the course I did, the level 1, one of the first things they said was, programmers do computer stuff. You write a program initially, and then everything you do after that is coaching.
Yeah.
So you write a program once, and it'll be the least optimal program for that client you'll ever write. Yeah. Because you don't know much about them.
But the more you learn, the more you change it, make it better and better for them.
And that's how you just got to, if you have to keep changing things because you're worried your client's getting bored, get better at explaining why you're doing what you're doing. As a coach, challenge yourself, get better at explaining things. And then if your clients don't buy into it, then maybe you're not the right coach for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Or maybe they don't want the same things that you want for them. Maybe they've expressed that they just want to move well, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get you the most optimal single leg Bulgarian splits, whatever. And they're like, 1, what the fuck is that? 2, I don't care. Just help me move better. So I guess it's about matching with your client's goals and matching their energy.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Shall we do some Q&A?
Yay!
Oh, do we have any?
Yeah,
please.
Go on, let's go.
These.
Go on, let's go.
We've got some time. Good stuff, gang. Good stuff. As always, if you do want to ask us questions or give us topics to suggest, maybe don't. We haven't been through them in a while, so I'm going to start working through some of them. And obviously, if you've got questions that you want to ask us or topics or any funny confessions, then there is a link to our Google form, isn't there, Michael?
There
on
is.
Our Instagram. Pump Fiction Pod is our Instagram, so follow us on that for, I don't know, random stuff. But yeah, so let's have a look here. So got one question here from Kirsten. It's about lifting with DOMs, specifically retraining a muscle group when you have DOMs in that area. Will I injure myself?
Probs not. I mean, if your DOMs are horrendous and it's going to negatively impact your performance, I'd probably delay it today. Because then you, like we spoke earlier about, are you training to maintain or are you training to progress? Oh, they're not so sore, I can't progress. Cool, crack on with it. If they're, I'm too sore, I'm immobile, you probably won't be able to progress today. So probably delay it. But I think ultimately, hopefully Mike will agree. I think training with some slight soreness is not an issue.
No.
And if anything, can actually maybe eliminate that soreness, but get blood flow into the area, improve recovery, things like that. What are your thoughts?
I think learning to differentiate between pain, like learning like DOMs, if it's too uncomfortable to actually do the program as it needs to be executed, then I agree. I think wait a day, it's not going to kill anyone. Like just wait a day. If you can push through it and just get on with it, then I think give it a go. Like the pain is not,
I also think there's no harm in going to the gym and trying.
Yeah.
And say, actually, and now I've started moving, I feel a lot worse than I thought I did. Good, go home. I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Like you can call it, you can just say, I tried, but I'll do it again tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I've had clients that are like, I've got a bit of a twinge, and I'm like, describe it to me. Yeah. And then they're just like, I'm like, that's just DOMs. We're fine. And someone was, it feels like my arm's going to fall off. And every time I put my arm above my head, it feels like I get the shooting pain. And I'm like, right, whoa. Yeah. Let's not
now we need to address
fuck with that now, because that sounds like a problem.
I had a conversation with someone about that. Every time I do RDLs, my lower back hurts. I was like, what? Bad pain? No, it feels kind of like when I've got DOMs. I was like, probably have DOMs. And they're like, yeah, but why in my lower back? I was like, lower back's working because hip hinge moving. They're like, so it's no problem. I think a lot of people associate if it's anything lower back related, they're like injury. But actually, a lot of times,
guess what? One of the functions of your erectors is it's anti-flexion of the spine.
Yeah, literally.
He said erectors.
That means.
Why do you think we hide under a table, guys?
Yeah, there you go. It's true. Okay, cool. That was good. Is good.
Wrong? Who knows?
Okay, I got another one here from Nadia, and it basically says it's very noisy outside. What's going on?
It's a ruckus.
You need to go sort them out.
Yeah, go on, Mike. You sort them out.
Okay.
Nadia says, "Is cardio better than weights for improving stamina?"
Cool. Wow, that's quite. We need more information.
Okay,
it's kind of.
She has given more. More. As a woman doing weights, been receiving a couple of unsolicited advice on how cardio is better for my body. That's a bit broad.
Is that just them being sexist?
I know it's all a myth on how women shouldn't lift weights. Thanks, Harry and Maddie, for debunking that. But wonder if there is any truth to cardio being better for stamina compared to weightlifting.
But again, stamina in what sense? Is it stamina when doing high rep ranges? Is it stamina when running a marathon?
This is it. So I think it depends. So essentially, if we were talking about, basics, stamina really comes down to fitness. And therefore, of course, cardio is good for fitness. So therefore, it's going to improve your stamina. But if we're talking about stamina for the benefit of lifting weights, that's a different thing.
Yeah, I think it's very goal specific, and ultimately, if your goal requires that specific cardiovascular stamina, like
what do you need that stamina for?
Yeah, if it is literally like running, I'd probably say you probably need to do cardio. If it's something like, I just want to hack squat better, it's like, I'm sure it might benefit you, but I don't think it would benefit you more than doing hack squat more often.
What if perhaps they mean by stamina, they mean almost burning fat?
If it's burning fat, then we understand that, like regarding long-term fat loss and the maintenance of fat loss, arguably that resistance training, if you had to choose, is probably better because obviously you burn calories resistant training and obviously more muscle mass, higher BMR, but also that means you're more likely to burn more calories on a rest for a longer period of time.
Well, going back to the DOMs, if you've got DOMs, it means that your body's burning more calories to repair that feeling.
There is that as well.
So therefore, your calorie burning rate is going to be higher when you're sat doing nothing compared to had you just done a bit of cardio.
And with cardio being like, unfortunately, the law of diminishing returns, like the fitter you get, the less calories you burn.
You become more efficient. And also, you got to think about how horrendously efficient the human body is. If you run,
has to be.
My resting heart rate is so low now.
So, how many calories do you burn? Do you track your calories?
Yeah.
How many calories do you burn running a 5k? So 3 miles, just around 3 miles?
Probably. It depends how fast I push it.
Average pace.
Okay, let's say today I did a 10k at a very moderate pace. My heart rate didn't really go above 140.
And how long did that take you?
Hang on, I've got the data here. I actually have that data.
This is one time it's coming in handy.
It is.
For us anyway.
While he's finding that out, have you heard the study they've done about this?
Which one?
They did it on a tribe.
No.
I'll say it afterwards.
I'm curious.
Okay, so I did 10k in 55 minutes. It was slow. Like my record 10k is 43 minutes. So you can see the difference there. That's 43 minutes, obviously me gunning it as hard as I can in an event. So 44 minutes 47 today, and I burnt 761 calories.
Considering how much activity that is and the duration of activity, that's a meal. You've burnt a meal. That's not actually a lot.
And
it's really not a lot.
A 5k I'd probably do 400 calories if I'm pushing myself.
But if you're not, maybe 300.
Yeah.
So 300 is what's that, 2 Kit Kats, something around that.
Yeah.
That's less than 6 Maryland cookies, 6 Oreos. I could hammer that in a second. Wouldn't even touch the sides. But that would take me 3 miles to burn off. But the body is efficient.
It's because obviously I've been doing a lot of running. I'm fitter now than I ever been pretty much my entire life. Like I said, my resting heart rate sometimes goes as low as about like 41, which is pretty low. So therefore, it means that I'm not burning as many calories. So when I'm dieting, I therefore have to manipulate things differently.
Yeah,
and that algorithm they use to track how many active calories you burn is based on what an average person. Like as you get fitter,
it doesn't take into
as
account.
you get fitter, you will not be burning that many calories.
Yeah,
you're becoming more efficient, and you're already very efficient.
So the study that they did, I don't know when they did it, but basically they were looking at an indigenous tribe. I want to say it's in South America, and they were trying to work out how many calories they were burning. Because obviously they run everywhere, they have to carry everything everywhere, they don't have access to anything.
It's not minimal.
And they were like, they must be burning loads. And then they thought, well, how does that work? Because they don't eat a lot of food. And then they literally found out they were burning, on average, bearing in mind how much they move versus the average American, it was something like 200 calories extra a day.
Yeah, it's a joke, because they're just so efficient.
Because it's like a car on the motorway. The longer you drive it, the more, she's got a crap car.
Go up and up and up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how the metabolism works, because we are designed that way.
Yeah,
feast and famine and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I think going back to the original question is, I think it's going to be a very much it depends answer of it depends. Like I said, stamina for what? Because there's different types of stamina. I think more context is necessary, or more context is needed to really actually answer that definitively.
I think Chris was right. Like if you want more stamina because you want to have better fat loss, I think there's better ways to go about it. If you want to get better at running stamina, guess what? You're probably going to need to do more of
probably have to do some
running.
Yeah.
If you want to get better at lifting weights, like
probably
faster or like kind of CrossFit kind of thing, then you're probably going to need to start doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do one more question. There's a couple of other bits we can go over on another show. This one comes from Victoria, and it simply says, is it possible to gain muscle but not track calorie intake? I've started to track protein intake but not calorie, as I had some problems with eating disorder as a teenager.
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
100% possible.
Yeah, especially if you're tracking protein, that's great.
Yeah, I think ultimately, whether you're tracking calories or not, doesn't necessarily change how much you're eating. If you're eating the same whether you track or not, the tracking doesn't change how much you're eating. I think sometimes it's easier because you have a better idea of how much you're eating, you actually know. But if you're already, let's say, eating enough without tracking it and tracking your protein intake, then just because you're not recording the number doesn't mean you're not eating what you're eating, sort of thing. And ultimately, it's even if it were suboptimal to do so, it's definitely not worth sacrificing your mental health, especially with the previous history of eating disorders, just for the sake of maybe a 1% gain a year or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I think you've got to prioritize your health, your happiness,
definitely.
And funniest, I think.
I mean,
a sustainable approach, as well.
I think if ultimately you're trying to gain muscle, what we've always said is it's just about getting more calories in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, and obviously if you are prioritizing protein, that's even better.
Yeah.
But essentially, you don't have to track it. It's, you know if you're eating a bit more than days than you've eaten a bit less. So if you want to continue to make progress and get, as long as you're gauging your strength, then your strength is a good indication of your muscle growth. And if your strength is improving, if it plateaus, then you could say, okay, I might eat a bit more for a week or so.
Yeah. Literally get a portion of food, get your normal portion, have that, and be like, regardless of how much you put on the plate, your normal portion, just add a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to consistency, really, in regards to making progress. So if you're consistent, then you can monitor it through that level of consistency. Definitely. And just add a little bit more here and there if you want to keep making that progress. As long as you're happy with how you feel in yourself and how you look, then ultimately everything else is irrelevant. And
then, like you said, if you want more, then you just add a little bit more protein, maybe. Yeah. You don't need to track that extra calories.
I don't track. I
don't track.
Because I did years of tracking through bodybuilding and just being meticulous with it. I'm so intuitive now with my eating. I can dial it in or bring it up whenever I want to, just because I know when I need to eat more and I know when I need to eat less.
I would say that's like a black belt level, though.
Yeah, no,
and
I agree.
So
it's taken me years.
So many people need
to be completely honest. I don't think I'm at that level yet, because my calories have changed so much over.
I think for you it's so much harder though, because you're so much bigger than me, and you're trying to gain. Because you're trying to gain a lot of muscle, you're still in a place where you can gain a lot of muscle. For you, you're trying to optimize that potential gain. Whereas for me, I'm kind of at a point where I've very much plateaued in life physically. So I'm not likely to lose much muscle and I'm not likely to gain much muscle. So therefore, I can play around with my body fat simply by manipulating my calorie intake throughout the day. For you, I think it makes a lot of sense for you not to risk. You can't eyeball it. You've got to get as much in as you can. Yeah. You've got to get in as much as you can without getting fat, basically.
Yeah. Times be tough with these 6,000 calories a day be getting tough, man.
Bloody hell.
It's like, it's anywhere from like 5.5 to 6,000.
I don't think I eat half that.
It's killing me.
I'm dieting again at the moment because I'm going away in 5 weeks' time. So I'm just conscious of the fact that I want to look good for that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Put on some weight when I went on the last holiday, so fine. So I've been dialing it down, but I reckon at the moment I'm probably midweek, because obviously Sunday to Friday I'm pretty meticulous. I have my Saturday off.
This is nice. I think it's quite a good approach.
But I think probably calorie-wise, Monday to Friday, I'm probably having about 1,700 calories.
You wouldn't get out of bed for that, would you?
That's a meal. That's what my final meal.
Packet of Oreos.
My final meal is about.
But then on a Saturday, I'm probably doing like 6,000 or 7,000 calories.
But then that's the thing, you average out. You sacrifice the days, but you balance out the weekly calories, which is what. Is
I have a client who I'm going through this with, and every time it happens, I'm like, it's baffling how people just don't make that. But they don't have that intuition to know, like, oh, I do undo it all in a day.
You can't. Look, at the end of the day, if I didn't have that fuck up on a Saturday, then I'd get better results with my diet, quite simply.
Fuck up or just a nice little...
It's not a fuck up. It's
diet holiday.
It's almost like in my mind, it's a refeed.
A regular one.
In my mind, it's kind of like a refeed because it does fuel me for the rest of the week. By about Wednesday, I start to feel the effects of that Saturday leaving me.
Yeah. Depleted.
But I am still able to lose weight doing that. So I'm probably losing like 0.5 kilo a week by doing that. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
You find it sustainable?
Yeah, look, at the end
of
then he's having a great time.
I've accepted that in order to get lean and look the way I want to look, you have to accept hunger occasionally. That's part of dieting. That's one thing that people don't seem to understand when they get a coach and a diet plan, is they complain about the hunger. And if it's crazy hungry, then you probably are having too little. But a little bit of hunger you have to be okay with. At the end of the day, if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're 400-500 calories or even 300 calories below what your body needs to maintain its current form, you're going to feel hungry now and then.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing if your goal is to lose body fat. If your goal is to be an athlete and optimize your performance, then that's not...
I mean, it's in the name. It's deficit. You have less than you need. Your body's going to have mechanisms that are going to be, hey, dude, maybe just put some more in. And you're like,
safety
nope.
mode.
Like safety mode.
That's probably why in this episode I've drunk that whole bottle of water, because often when I'm hungry, I just drink more. I get through a lot of diet soft drinks. I drink a lot of squash.
Carbonated drinks.
And as long as I know that I'm hitting my protein targets and I do control roughly my carbs and fats throughout the day. As long as I'm doing all those kind of familiar targets, then it's going to work for me.
I do the same, similar to you. I literally I don't even track my protein. I just look for opportunities to get it at every meal, and it tends to be enough.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to approach it. It's have I ticked these boxes? Yeah, then you'd probably be all right.
I'm always looking for 20 grams minimum.
Definitely.
In a meal.
Same.
I know it sounds like such a kind of arbitrary number, like say, this magic figure of 20 grams or whatever. But for me, my size, my form, it's fine. I'm good with that.
It works for you, because then you at least know that if you're eating 3 or 4 times a day, you can kind of roughly know I'm at least getting about 80 grams.
Post-workout, I'll probably double that. I have about 40 grams. But other than that,
I just chuck a shake in.
I'm not too. We've said this before. We don't really think you can overeat on protein. It's not bad if you go over on your protein, essentially.
Yeah, your body's not going to reject in suddenly the extra 300 calories of protein you had just don't exist anymore. Now you're in a deficit. It doesn't happen like that. It just may not be optimal for a digestion and actually utilize it, but you're still going to
or being able to eat it. If you're whole food, like that's a lot of food.
You might have a smelly bum.
Yeah. Oh. Look, at the end of the day, life is important. So if tracking doesn't work for you, then don't do it. There's other ways to get around it.
But I like what you said about tracking your progress in the gym. So if you're getting stronger, you're probably doing something right, because I think that's a really good indicator. Even if you're not tracking your food, are the results showing in the gym? Yeah, then you're probably okay, to be honest.
I've got a client actually who one of the first questions I asked her in her intake was, are there any things that are triggering, anything you want to avoid? She goes, I don't want to do any kind of tracking. And so that we just literally focus on, and don't get me wrong, every now and again there has to be a little conversation where it's like, I don't know if I'm eating enough. Am I eating enough? And I'm like, do you like the way you look? Yes, I'm liking how that's going. You're clearly performing better because look at the program. So we're fine. And then she'll go, okay.
I think it comes down to looks, really. I know it's a very basic thing, but if a client comes to you and says, I'm not losing any weight, and then you have the discussion, well, are you sticking to a particular consistent diet? And they say no. Well, then it's not your training protocol that's at fault here.
Yeah,
as to why you don't look the way you want to look.
Definitely, and I think it goes back to something that Harry said earlier about, as a coach having the confidence to just keep hammering home that same message. Like, you need to do this. You need to do this. And every time you come up against that kind of objection of, I don't really feel like I'm getting where I want to. It's like, are you eating what you need to be eating? No. Okay, well, it's the same answer as last time then. We need to get on top of this.
So you can only guide people, you can't force them.
No, definitely.
That's the thing I find PTs, they're like, my PT's not very good because I haven't seen any results. So you see him once a week for 1 hour. For that 1 hour, he can control you. What do you do when he's not there? I eat a pack of biscuits every night. Probably not helping you trying to be in a deficit, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's so many things like, how much of that is your PT's problem? Yeah. And how much of that is actually a you problem?
You are an adult.
Yeah. Like my coach, I have minimal contact with my coach because... Same. To be honest, I don't need it. If I need him, I know he's there. If it's a question regarding nutrition or something beyond that, like health perspective side of things, he's there. We talk every day outside of coaching. Like we play COD together. We just chat shit about life. But from the coaching side of things, the contact is minimum because I know that he's put what I need to do in place. It's now on to me to do it. And if I have any questions, I know he's there to ask. But 9 times out of 10, I've already asked all the questions I need to ask so far. And we're okay.
And a good coach knows how to turn their system to fit the client. It's not just a cookie cutter, like you get all of these support modules. Yeah. It's like, how much of this do you need? Put that cookie down! There you go.
That's what I always do with like clients now is I say, what do you expect from this relationship? So rather than saying, I can offer you this and this, I say, what do you want from it? Because one client may say, I want this and this, but other client may say, I want these completely different things. It's like, okay, well, you can get these, but if that changes at any point, we can. It's not set in stone. Which means someone says, I need macro guidance, this and this, but the other person says, I just want someone just to check in on me, do my programming. It's like, yeah, we could do that as well. But then flip around, I think the other thing that I almost had to come to terms with as a client when I started being coached was, it's not his job to chase me.
No.
Like, he's not there to babysit me and to message me, are you okay, how was this, how was this? It's me to reach out to him and say, I need, can I have some support now, rather than him to reach out to me and ask for me to need support, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we can't predict the future.
Yeah, like if you need a coach, you contact the coach, but you can't expect the coach to constantly be on your ass about like, is everything okay? Are you good? Are you
Do you
good?
think that's because they're paying the money and they almost are just like, I've given you the money, you give me the thing.
Yeah.
It's like,
but then there's people that think that paying for a PT means they'll get results. They don't realise they actually have to put the time in and actually go away and be accountable.
Gym memberships are the same.
Yeah.
People buy a gym membership and are like, why am I not losing any weight? It's like, because you don't use it
You're
properly.
not here.
How many times have you been to the gym last year? I didn't go.
Yeah,
But I've got the gym membership. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apparently, I've done 75 runs this year. I can't believe I've run that much.
That's cool.
Don't think I've done that many in my life. It's crazy.
I did 10. I've done, previous to that, in my lifetime on Strava, I'd done 10. So this year I've gone from doing 10 in my lifetime to doing 75.
What's your average then? What would that work out to? How many days into the year are we?
I've done, supposedly I average about 2 to 3 a week.
Wow.
But you didn't
You
didn't start running till later on in the year, did you?
Yeah, that's correct.
You didn't exactly start from January 1st.
No, I didn't.
So we really said maybe only 6 months.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
That's
But
good.
yeah,
That's good.
I'm still surprised I'm doing it, but I actually find that I'm enjoying it, and it's mad.
That's the main thing, is that you're happy.
Yeah, it's
Good
weird.
for you.
Proud of you.
But essentially it means that I don't have to do boring cardio in the gym. That's why I like it.
Yeah, brick walls are
I'd much
fun.
rather go walk outside than walk in the gym.
Yeah, this is it.
Preference, don't have to, but
There you go. All right, that's enough for now.
I think we've done it.
I think we've done it.
That's a good show. It's good to be back as well.
See you again in 2 weeks.
Well, maybe we can do it sooner if it means that it
We can
gets
cuddle.
us back on track. But we'll get those diaries in line. Yeah, it's been good. You guys got anything more to add before I play us out?
I need to go to the gym.
You need to go to the gym. Could do with going to the gym. I'm actually going climbing tonight, which is good. So that's good. Continue
I need to
progression
eat.
with that. I do need to eat as well. But yeah, so this has been Pump Fiction episode 15. You can follow me on Instagram at ChrisDFellows. You can follow him on Instagram at radical.mike. Him, Harry_TFNL.
Hello.
He also has a really good YouTube channel where he debunks like
Crap.
the many crap things.
I watched one
Also
of your
not
videos the other day.
That's your first mistake.
Ah,
It's time you're never going to
Are
get
you
back.
promoting us on there?
I do actually mention the podcast occasionally.
Okay, good.
Once in blue moon, I'm like, oh, I've got a podcast with my friends.
Keep
by the
doing
way.
that. But yeah, keep watching us, keep listening to us, keep providing anything you want to us. We'll talk about pretty much anything within reason.
yeah. Ask us. We'll give you an honest answer.
Other than that, thank you for listening. This has been Pump Fiction. See you again. Bye.
Bye.